Hey, welcome back to Techopolis 3, where in the last video, we made the first hellish technium ingot, meaning we've technically completed the hellish tree. There's a little bit more. I'm probably going to have to get into that before I continue with the point of this video, but that is mostly there to lead into the next tree, which is not the plan for this video. The plan here, much like with every other technium, is to set up a large processing line to hopefully automate it. And just looking at the ingredients, this is both the easiest and the most complicated simultaneously. Because it has the most things that I can just port straight in or close to it. Magma just goes into a crafter and then into the thing. Blaze rod, straight in. Ghast tears, straight in. Nether stars, depending on how I can get the setup to work, either straight in or one other machine and then in. Oil, straight in. Spent nether waste, straight in. Ultimate technium, straight in. So, really, there's only four things here for me to automate. And that is not a big deal. But these are some of the most complicated things I've had to do. Red nether bricks aren't too bad. Nether warts, I just move this cloche. And then nether bricks, netherrack and a brick. So another alloy kiln. Ooh, but actually, I hadn't fully considered where I get the netherrack from. Because the bricks just smelt clay. And I have a miner. Netherrack, I might just have to do the loot fabricator. Because I can get a zombified piglin. So then I can probably do that quite easily. It's a couple machines, but nothing too bad. Then the brass and zinc are both similar. Brass, I need a metal press, and another alloy kiln. And I just need to make a ton of zinc. How do I get zinc again? Oh yeah, dimensional ore. So I'm gonna have to set up another dimensional processing thing, probably in the nether, to make things easier. Because either, I guess I've already got zinc through this quantum entangleporter. I'm either gonna need to hijack the nether ores to put the zinc in a processing over there somewhere, or somehow get copper into the nether. There's a few things that I probably should have figured out ahead of time that I kind of overlooked a bit. But the zinc and brass shouldn't be too big of a deal. The main one really is netherite, just because of how much of this I need. And this is where I get to the complexity. Because once I've got the netherite scrap, it's not a huge deal. I'm gonna need gold, which either I can hijack from here, because this actually has quite a lot of spare gold now, or I can make a parallel dimensional process. But then the netherite scrap, I'm going to have to take advantage of the ancient infuser. And this has taken quite a bit of time to figure out, and I'm going to have to go to a separate world to show you. So this is my creative world that I go to anytime I need to test something out. And here I've set up a likely over-engineered solution to completely automate the ancient debris. The lava, the antimatter, and the power, I've already got that automated back at the base. I've set this up at the speed that I would actually be able to run it. And so what I've got here is a formation plane that takes the debris that will be automated some other way. It's not super complicated. I'll get to that. The formation plane places the debris in front of a smart piston that pushes it in this line. When three get in a line, these three pistons push it across, where it steadily gets converted into ancient debris, and then into 3 annihilation planes. I spent a long time trying to get this all to work with one annihilation plane, but a triple piston extender is a lot more annoying than just adding 2 more annihilation planes. And that just goes into wherever storage. Also, the main thing that I wanted to do here is I'm using an energy acceptor connected to everything with quartz fibers, meaning that, to my knowledge, because these are a subnet, they don't need channels. They just need power, and they just kind of work. And I could probably have done this without using AE2 things. There's other kinds of block places and breakers from the same mods. This way it's quicker, and it's a little bit cleaner as well. So I think this is the design that I'm going to go with. It was said in the comments that instead of doing all of this, I could just have a big ring of formation planes and annihilation planes, to just place and break a ton of debris, but I kind of wanted to minimize how many of the planes I made, just for simplicity's sake. And also, I really like the over-engineered designs. Inefficiency is sometimes cool. Anyway, when I build that up, I'm probably just going to move this machine, because I don't think I'm going to need it for anything else. And like with the osmium, I can just steal some stuff out of it if I need it. So, I guess that's most things covered. I just need to set this up. And I think the first thing that I want to try is all of these simpler things, because that's where I get into one thing that I forgot to test. I don't have a great spot to test this here, but it doesn't have to be a great spot for now. If I set up another quantum entangle porter on technium input, I can see that it's got the ultimate technium and the spent nether waste. Actually, I already have that over here, so then I don't need that just yet. I can just do that. And then if I pass in blaze rods and gas tiers, I don't think it can have all of those in here at once. It's just got the ultimate technium. That's going to make things much more annoying. Because now, instead of having the one quantum entangle porter that just automatically puts all the items in, I'm going to have one for every item that I teleport in like this. I got away with it before because it was a different matter type. It was a chemical instead of an item. Okay, well that's going to mean I might not want to teleport so much stuff. But the only things that would be easy to set up in the nether would be the nether stars and the red nether bricks. But that leaves 5 things. Oh no, 6. There's probably enough space for me to fit all of this. Yeah. I am just going to need a lot of quantum entangle porters. Well then, let's take this one thing at a time. And I think the first thing to do is to set up the area where I'm going to create all of the automation stuff. And maybe also fix up this bit at the same time. I think I'm just going to accept the fact that this is jutting out of the mountain and not try to hide it anymore. I can also block off this bit here, where I carved away a bit too much at once. It doesn't look super good, but it looks better than it did before at least. It just might be a bit weird now as I build the next layer. Because now I don't have the rest of the mountain to hide how inconsistently each room is built. But maybe I can build extra bits to try to hide it a little bit? I don't know. This video isn't supposed to be about the building, and I'm not building in the back wall just in case I need to expand. So, this room feels really weird. It's like a Minecraft liminal space. I need to start building up some of these machines. And some of the teleporters too. Because I'm gonna need 6 things to be teleported. Because I'm probably gonna make the nether stars and the nether bricks over there. Partly because what I'm making is just so simple that it shouldn't really matter. But I need to give it sand. I'll figure that out as I get to it. For now, I need to get myself a bunch of advanced technium because I can't afford any quantum entangle porters. But of course, the technium production's kind of crap. I don't know why everything here is so slow lately. Well, I'm just gonna slowly build up the quantum entangle porters. And I guess while I wait for them to come in, I can try to connect in the P2P. Ah, here it is. And then instead of having a big technium machine here, I don't need anything here. I'm working with quantum entangle porters. I don't need to pipe everything over to this area just to teleport them. Well, that's gonna kind of remove my frame of reference for where to build everything up. Well, I think just for the sake of it, I can start building things up on this side. 2 of these teleporters are very easy. I just need blaze rods and gas tiers. Then if I throw in a crafter, I can make a recipe for magma blocks. And then I can send all of my magma cream in. Okay. And then just for the sake of it, I can come back to these in the nether and just swap over the frequencies. And now I'm sending all 3 of those directly into the hellish technium machine. Okay. I guess next up, more just as, I guess, something to do in here, I can set up the thing for nether stars and red nether bricks. And for that, I'm going to need a few things. I need this nether wart cloche. I need another quantum entangle porter. I need a loot fabricator. and 2 simulation chambers. I guess to fuel it I need a mob infuser and an energized smelter. And I'll just get a trash can to deal with the excess items I get. Ooh, actually, come to think of it, I'm gonna need another energized smelter and another mob infuser. And that might be enough. Oh, I need another crafter. I may as well make a ton of these for future reference. And I need the entire alloy kiln. So we need a ton of kiln bricks. I need to make a second kiln, so I may as well queue up enough for that while I'm at it. Okay, that wasn't too painful. Time in a bottle, plus more grout than I can ever need, made this in like a minute. Right. Oh yeah, the last thing I need is the 2 data models that go in the simulation chamber. I need a wither skeleton and a zombie piglin. And then I need another one for the nether stars. There. So that should be everything to make the nether stars and the red nether bricks. There is one other thing to set up here. I need a sand frequency. And now I can come back to the nether and build up all of this stuff. I don't know how much space I'm gonna need, but presumably not that much. I mean, the biggest thing I need to build up is the kiln, and that doesn't have to go anywhere in particular. So then I'll just put the simulation chambers down there, stick the data models in, connect it all to power. Then I need sand being auto-ejected into a smelter, which auto-ejects into the mob infuser, which then puts the prediction matrices into the simulation chambers. Then it's going to be failing to make a prediction for a while, but eventually it'll put those into the loot fabricator, and then I'll just set up a trash can on nether predictions, and it should just bin everything. Right, now I'm getting netherrack, and this is where things get a bit weird, and also where I realize I've forgotten something. 1 second. I need another quantum entangle porter on clay. So I need the clay going into a crafter, and then into a smelter, and then the bricks into the kiln. And then I'm hoping... There's only netherrack in there right now, but I'm hoping netherrack is the only thing that'll go in here. So then that makes nether bricks, which then come into this crafter, along with the nether wart, and it makes red nether bricks. And then this just goes straight into the technium machine. This ended up being a bit more spaghetti than I thought it would be, but it works. And I'm getting red nether bricks. Last I just need the nether stars. So here I can get the wither skeleton prediction, and it shouldn't put the skeleton skulls in the alloy kiln. Instead, it should put them in the mob infuser, which takes a very long time to make the nether stars, and then the nether stars just go back into the technium machine. I should probably bring over some machine frames to accelerate most of this. Oh, I've run out of sand as well. And clay. Yeah, I need more chunk loading. But anyway, oh, yeah, I can see nether star going through, so that works. I haven't quite confirmed yet if they're going to step on each other's toes, but it generally doesn't put an item where it can't do anything, so it shouldn't put netherrack in here, and it shouldn't put wither skulls in there. So then it should just be fine, and I should be able to move on. But now I'm getting to the actually complicated things, and I think I'll save the netherite for last, because the zinc and the brass are both pretty similar. The main thing really is getting zinc, so of course to do that I need to remake all of this, and even the simpler one is still a lot, but this is manageable. I need 14 more machines, and a lot of them use advanced technium machine frames, and I don't think I have enough advanced technium. I have 27 nuggets, so that's 4 machine frames. I need to figure out why this is so slow, because it's just not making obsidian, because it doesn't have water? Oh, yeah, that'll do it. It's only running off of a single ambient water collector. That also explains why the copper is slow too, because a lot of these aren't getting anything. So I need to get a 15th machine so that I can set up a pump. And it should be generating a lot more water. I can already see it's keeping up with all of these rock washes. And yes, it's also putting it into the kiln. So that should be able to keep up on the obsidian. The last thing is the palace crystals. And I think that's just because I'm wasting all of this lead, pretty much. I don't have anything in place to stop it from despawning, so it's just constantly producing palace crystals and despawning them. I guess I can give it a boost. Maybe that'll speed this along. Well, while I wait, I can make a lot of the things that aren't going to require so much advanced technium. I forgot that the elite control circuits also use advanced technium. I'm gonna need a lot more than I thought. And because of that, only 3 of the machines don't require advanced technium. Well, I have a bit of an alternative idea. Probably not a good idea, but it might just work. I think it was the previous video where I explicitly said not to do this. But if I put zinc in the requester, then over here, I can put copper and zinc into this export bus, and it should just make brass for me. And now, to turn it into the things that I need to get 2 more metal presses. But these don't need advanced technium, so I should be able to just do it. I already have the engineering blocks, and those are the hardest part. And actually, I think I already have all of the stuff I need for that. So then I'll just place these down here, next to the alloy kiln, and I need to get some molds for them. 1 on gears, 1 on plates. I'm not gonna connect the brass in just yet, because that's gonna start wasting everything, but I'll bring the line over, and the other one just needs an export bus on zinc. But again, I'm not going to connect it just yet because it's going to waste everything. So now I need to put the redstone in. And you might think, this is a tiny area. You need way more than that to do the redstone. But no, there is a much, much easier method of doing this that I will not take credit for. I am stealing this from the comments completely because they are smarter than me. If I get myself 2 level emitters and 2 storage buses and a bit of quartz fiber, then I can put the storage buses on there. It doesn't really matter if they're bidirectional or not. They're simply there to allow the level emitters to output when I have too many things in these hoppers. So if I get 4 stacks of zinc gears, emit redstone. And then here, if I get 255 brass plates, then stop that. So now I can connect these in properly. And if I actually put power into the metal presses, they should work. And also, because I've connected these with quartz fiber, this shouldn't be stealing channels. I think I finally learnt how to use a subnet. Also, I really hate that metal press sound. Anyway, now I need more quantum entangle porters. I can put these hoppers going into the quantum entangle porters on H-Tech brass and H-Tech zinc, and then connect them in the nether. And that's 2 more items passively producing. So there's just 1 more to go, and it's possibly the hardest one. That remains to be seen. And it's probably easier for me to move the ancient infuser up to here than to try and fit all the pistons and things here anyway. Oh, and I'm gonna need the reaction chamber to be able to even make the debris. And that needs its own stuff. But that's not too bad. Well, first of all, I need to tear this whole thing down. And probably fill in this space too. Although I'm not bothered to put back whatever was there before. So there's just going to be some suspiciously square bits of stone. But anyway, that's all the pieces for the ancient infuser. I'm also going to need the stuff for the redstone. So that's 4 pistons, a couple redstone torches, and some repeaters and things, but I don't have redstone. I am steadily making more though, but I'll get back to the redstone later. I just need to build up the rest of the things. And I think the main one that I need to build up right now is the reaction chamber. And I need to spend that hellish technium ingot to get the machine frame to be able to afford this. So this reaction chamber needs a whole bunch of things. It needs every component for debris, except for the lava planks. That needs its own thing. I need a cloche with crimson fungus on... This is probably wrong. Oh, interesting. Am I gonna have to do all of the ancient debris stuff in the nether? Quite possibly. If I'm already going to the nether, I may as well get some nylium. Okay, good. Even though it's not the right tool, the silk touch still works. But I can't even put nylium in that slot. Do I really just use dirt? Yes. Okay. Well, at least I know it works. But the design here is gonna have to change quite a lot. I was gonna rely a bit more on export buses, but I don't think that's an option anymore. There's still some things I can do. I can still have lava and antimatter go into the one quantum entangled portal. I already have blaze rods and ghast tears going through. I can send wither bones through, and then I'm gonna have to change the magma cream a bit. I need to bring the crafter in here and have the magma cream go through. And then I mostly just need a lot of quantum entangled porters to figure this out. I'm gonna need more, but for now I just need to get started building this because my inventory is extremely full. I think I'll start by putting down the ancient infuser because that's taking up way too much space in my pack. Then I don't have a huge amount of space here, but it should be enough that I can get this cloche making crimson stem. That can then go into the crafter to make the planks, and then I can send this into the reaction chamber along with as many other things as I can. Same with the ancient infuser. Then I need to grab some more quantum entangled porters. Ooh, but I might have set this up a little bit wrong. I need a fluid injector here, and I think, yeah, I've accidentally connected power into this, so I can just bring power in that way. Then this should make the lava planks to actually go into the reaction chamber. Right. Now I need to connect in the other items. Then if I just connect this into power, right, it's starting to make debris. So now I need to set up the stuff to push the debris across here. And I have a bit of it, but I need some building materials. I need to set up the pistons, something like this, in line with the top of the beacons. And then redstone here, yes, such that it triggers those pistons. And redstone here, such that these three pistons go. So now, I just need to keep placing blocks here, except sometimes that happens. That's why I had the other repeater. If I put another repeater here, and I put some delay in, then it takes a little while before it does it, but it keeps the piston extended long enough to finish updating the block. Although 8 ticks might be a bit much. I'll do 4. Actually, I think it worked with just 1. Yeah. And if I just hold down, it seems to be fine. So, now I need to add in the formation and annihilation planes. And hopefully, this will start producing ancient debris for me. I've already got plenty of debris in here. So, I need to actually make the formation and annihilation planes. They're not super expensive. Oh, and I'm also going to need some quartz fiber. Oh, right. I think I also need an energy acceptor. I forget if energy acceptors have their own channels. No, I think they just bring power into a system. And then I also need to get the things that are going to hold the items that I need. So here, I need to bring this cable right the way around to get the formation plane. But then over here, I can just place down these annihilation planes. It doesn't really matter. And storage bus into a drawer. And it probably needs some netherite scrap. So I guess I can test if this is even working. I think that's an... Oh, this doesn't even have a frequency. No wonder it's not working. Okay, there we go. I'll put the netherite scrap in there, so then it knows what it should get. and then I can connect these into the energy acceptor. I've connected via quartz fibers. I don't know why, I don't think it does anything at this point. Oh, but this is already going. The import bus is putting debris into the formation plane. That's now pushing debris over the beacons. I'm going to slow this down a bit to give it time for the ancient debris to convert, but I don't think it's going to be getting that time. Yeah, one of the debris didn't make it. I should probably set this up on a detection-based system instead of just speed. Well, that's what this obsidian was for, so that I don't push the debris too far. But also, once the backlog's gone through, it's now actually managing to keep up with the debris conversion. Okay, this seems to be working. But now, this is the hardest part, getting the ancient debris. There shouldn't be much left after this. I just need a metallurgic infuser, an energized smelter, and an enrichment chamber. Oh, and a crafter. So I need the netherite scrap to go into the metallurgic infuser, and from there into an energized smelter, and then into a crafter, making netherite blocks. And for good measure, I'll have an enrichment chamber that puts the gold into the metallurgic infuser. But I just need the gold for that, and I have a bit of a dumb idea. I can put a quantum entangled porter there, and give it a gold frequency, and then with an entangled porter on gold here, it sends the gold into the enrichment chamber. But that's not getting power. Hang on. I can move some things around. And now it's running. And it should be making me netherite, albeit, very slowly. I should probably put some speed upgrades in this. But at the very least, it is running. It's putting the netherite ingots in there. And I should, when it's eventually got the block, extract it out into the technium machine. Meaning, if I just give this a bit of a boost to make a couple more blocks, I am now passively making hellish technium. It's not perfect, because pretty much everything in here won't work while I'm in the overworld and vice versa. So I'm going to have to put a bunch of chunk loading upgrades around. But, for all intents and purposes, this is done. And I probably could just transport this little bit across. No. Because there's a lot that I'm saving by taking advantage of this for the zinc. So, at some point, I'm going to have to make another ore processing system like this. And then I can replace the zinc in the export buses. That's why I'm not going to block off this room just yet. Because, I don't know, I might need that extra space. But, for the sake of this video, and the fact that I am extremely out of time, I'm just gonna have to call this here, because it does work. I am producing hellish technium, and so I'm pretty much done with the hellish tier. There is still a little bit more here that I'll get into some other time, but now I need to start thinking about the lunar tier of things, and all of this stuff. Yay. But for now, I'm pretty happy with this progress, and I don't think I have anything else to say, so I'm going to call the video here. Bye.